Hello everyone, Adam here from Three Count Radio, and today we have the British Bombshell Women's Champion, Stacey Rose. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm all right. Not so bad. Yourself?
I am fantastic, thank you. Very, very well. What have you been up to?
Not a lot today. I'm kind of in a weird limbo at the minute because I've just finished studying.
Ah,
So I've moved from Liverpool sort of back to my hometown, and yeah, it's weird not being busy. Um, from a non-wrestling standpoint, anyway, it's just so strange. Just everything's just calmed down.
in a weird way, I get you.
Yeah.
I do understand that. Like, it is odd, isn't it? Like, somewhat being used to being busy.
Hmm.
So when you're not, you don't know what to do with yourself, don't you?
Yeah. But then you get used to sort of having that time to yourself and everything. So when things do get busy again, all of a sudden it can be quite overwhelming at times. It's good to find like a happy sort of middle ground where you're busy enough, but you're not taking on too much at the same time.
Yeah. I get you with that one, yeah.
Yeah.
What was it you were studying again? Sorry, I saw the picture of you with your garb on and everything.
Okay, so the cap and gown, my graduation last month, that was for my bachelor's in performing arts.
Oh,
Which I actually got last year, but the graduation was postponed because of COVID and everything.
of course.
Um, and then this year I've spent studying a PGCE, which is the teacher training degree.
Okay. Teacher training. Well, what is it you're looking to get into? What subject?
Performing arts or drama, theatre, something along those lines.
That's amazing. Congratulations, well done.
Thanks.
It's I've said this a few times now, and with the whole, pro wrestling interest, I've said it a few times now, like it's something part of me kind of wishes I got into a little bit when I was in high school.
Mm,
So I tapped into it a bit more. Um, but yeah, it is an interesting one. Yeah. Yeah, I never thought like because it's a bit quiet. I never thought I'd be able to do that sort of thing in front of a crowd.
yeah,
But like, funny story time actually.
go on.
I was gonna mention, being in front of like a small crowd, I say when we're doing promo class with Chris Brooker,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I actually really enjoy it. Even though it's only like small, it can be quite nerve-wracking, but that's the first time I saw you.
Yes, yeah,
That's the first time we met was at promo class. And
yeah,
the best thing about that class is you don't, unless you've seen someone on the show, you don't really know because there's a mixture of, say, me, who is extremely far from being booked on the show, let's be honest, and say someone that you or Holly Hudson who are champions, and you get a mixture of the two.
yeah. I mean, I can't say enough good things about Chris Brooker's promo
Mm.
class. I think the man is a magician. I think they're at Future Shock Performance Centre for those who don't know, second Monday of every month. Um, and just the environment in those classes, like there's genuinely no judgment, and everyone's really supportive of each other. So if you're experimenting with a character or catchphrases, then that's a place where you can do that and not feel silly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like I've I've loved it because I always like that side to wrestling anyway, and yeah, it's no one, as you said, no one judges because everyone's in the same boat.
Yeah.
Um, the last one I went to, I was a bit nervous, and it showed because I was
Yeah.
like a bit like that in my
Bit of
my
the happy
promo
feet.
throughout. Yeah, like nervous energy, but the promo didn't match the nervous energy. it got like raw in my mind,
But again, it's all part of training. I mean, you go to training um to do those things and to make mistakes and
yeah,
to get the feedback. So, it's, cutting a promo at training and, being nervous, it's better to do that at training than it is to do it just throw somebody in front of a live crowd and give them a mic and go, right, away you go. You've never done this before. Don't matter.
very, very, very true. It's daunting, but it as you said, like there's such a comforting environment, and you don't just get feedback from Chris Booker, you get feedback from the other people who are there as well,
Yeah.
which is fantastic. It really is. But absolutely couldn't agree more that the man is a magician.
Yeah.
He's got such a wealth of knowledge. The people he knows, I don't understand how he's got the connections that he's got, but
Well, I
yeah,
think it's years spent on the comedy circuit, I would have thought.
very true. Yeah, very
Yeah.
true. He's
But
absolutely incredible.
yeah, Chris Brooker, wonderful human being.
Hmm.
Love the guy.
Yeah, incredible. If at all, if you're looking to get into wrestling, or if you've been training for a while, but you want to get a look at your character, Roma class is the perfect place. Yeah, absolutely perfect place.
Yeah, absolutely.
And moving back to that dramas degree, I'm gonna hazard a guess that has helped you out a lot because you are very, very good at jaw jacking with the crowd.
Yeah, I would say having a background in drama helped. Because I was a theatre kid when I was young. I did my drama BTEC years ago before I even got into wrestling. And I think just having that prior experience of being on a stage and being taught to sort of improvise and interact with crowds and stuff, it really helped me because I'm not a natural athlete, so sometimes it takes me a bit longer to pick things up from a technical wrestling standpoint. So I think being able to become a character really helps me.
Yeah.
And I think my background in theatre really helped that side of me. So it's all been like an evolution, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that completely, yeah. And we, I love the character side of wrestling. I think that's what brings most wrestling fans into wrestling, the storyline, the character, the larger than life characters you see on TV or you see on the indies. And it's what gets me anyway, because I'm in the future, my ultimate goal is to become a manager,
Yeah.
somewhat. Like that's an ultimate goal in the future. And
Yeah.
I mean that is that's 100% character driven.
Yeah. I mean, even thinking back to when I was a kid, like first getting into wrestling around about 1999. I mean, you got to look at who's around at the time. Like my first favorite wrestler was The Rock. And when you think back on The Rock, you don't necessarily, obviously there are matches that you go, oh yeah, Rock Austin and Rock Triple H, great matches.
Yeah.
But when someone says The Rock, the first thing you think of is his catchphrases.
Yeah.
And how his character used to rip on the other guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's what I loved about The Rock as a kid, that he was so sarcastic and he was funny, and it was, the wrestling was almost secondary to that.
Yeah.
Almost, not quite, but almost.
Mm.
And the same goes for that era. So like Steve Austin, Triple H, Kane, Undertaker, even Shawn Michaels. It was the characters that drew people in.
Yeah. Yeah, because I always say, like, if you watch a match and you have no idea who they are, say go back a few eras, you haven't seen the build up, you just watch the match. It
Yeah.
might be a great match. But for a lot of the time, that'll, for the most part, that's all you'll see, just a decent match.
Yeah.
Whereas if you were to watch the build up and watch the story and watch the character development, that's when you're hooked.
Yeah.
Like, I always think back to, like, the everlasting feud between Gargano and Ciampa.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't be more hooked. Could not. It blew my mind. It's like, I'm a massive, massive Gargano mark.
Yeah.
And love the man to death. But like, it's one of them, that character work, Ciampa just going off the deep end, just absolutely just, it's incredible.
Yeah.
And
I mean, one of the hottest names in wrestling at the minute, MJF, pure character. And obviously stellar wrestler as well, but I think his storyline with Wardlow has had one of the best builds in years.
I say that, there you go. There you go. Long-term storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Long-term booking, long-term storytelling. As long as you're careful with it,
Yeah.
it can go, it can take a crowd to places you never thought you'd ever be taken. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Completely agree.
It's not 100% about the wrestling. Yeah, we sit there and watch matches, and we sit there and watch wrestlers that might not be like an AJ Styles or Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart in the ring. But as long as you can tell a story in the ring, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my 2 cents anyway.
That's a tangent we weren't expecting to go off on.
Very true. Yeah. Anyway, let's start the podcast. I'm Yeah, that's quite a hallmark of my podcast. Is just tangents. No one really expects to go.
No, that's fine. It beats the I've done podcasts before where people have just stuck to the questions that they've written down and that's it. So I appreciate a bit of conversation.
The thing is, for me, it's my questions are guidelines.
Yeah.
I don't. Ever since I first started, I never really wanted to rigidly stick to this, and this, because it's not organic.
Yeah.
And well, the podcast, I'm the host of the podcast, but it isn't about me.
Yeah.
So I guide the conversation, but you're the guest. So try and make it as much about the guest as possible.
That's good. I like it when it's all about me.
As I've seen in the ring.
Yeah.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So what was it that well, we touched on it a little bit, but what was it that motivated you to step inside the ring and start training?
So it was many moons ago now. I think I was coming to the end of my BTEC. I was just turning 18 and I didn't want to go to uni. I think I'd sort of fell out of love with theatre a bit.
Okay.
And I was sort of racking my brains. And I was a big wrestling fan.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, why not? Why not? And then I was talking to a friend about it one day, and she just happened to have another friend, like one of her other friends was hanging out with us. And he said, oh, well, I go to this place up the road, so why don't you tag along? And that was it.
It's not what you know, isn't it?
It's who you know. Yeah, exactly.
It's funny how things work out, like little happenstance.
Yeah.
It's great.
He just happened to be there that day. I'd never really, I don't know if I'd met him before that, but I didn't really know him. Yeah.
I love the irony of that. You'd fallen out of love with theatre, so you go to train to become a wrestler, which is theatre, basically.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. You know what I mean, though? The more traditional.
Yeah. It's so niche. It's so different to anything. describing pro wrestling to someone, it's a wormhole. It's so someone who doesn't watch it is so difficult.
Yeah, I mean, you get people and they debate, is it theatre? Is it sport? Is it sports entertainment? It's literally all of those things that we've described it as.
Mm.
It's literally all of those things. It
But
is live theatre. It is sports because you've got to have a decent level of fitness.
yeah,
But it is also sports entertainment because that's how we're entertaining people with this idea of sport. That's the story. So
a lot of people don't like the whole like sports entertainment thing, and I understand it. I do get it because it is professional wrestling. Um, at the same time, it's theatre, so
yeah,
I do understand the sports entertainment because the only reason, the only way the way I look at it is I don't look at pro wrestling as an out and out competitive sport because there's a predetermined outcome. Sorry to pull back the curtain a bit, but like that's the only way I don't really look at it as an out and out competitive kind of sport.
yeah.
But you do need to have a high level of fitness in
Mm-hmm.
order to fully 100% become a proper professional wrestler, and a lot of psychology as well.
Yeah.
There is a lot that does go into becoming a pro wrestler. It's not just getting the ring, this, and this, go home.
Yeah.
Probably for some people, not the way I look at it. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to work so hard outside of training and outside of shows. Like right now, doing this podcast and doing podcasts like this, obviously these are all meant for promotional purposes, if you like.
Mhm.
So that's one aspect of it, managing your social media, going to the gym.
Yeah.
There's all these things that sort of go into it that, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to manage that.
100% agree. Yeah. And yeah, I mean this as a podcast is something I've never regretted in my life. I absolutely love doing this. 'Cause
Yeah.
I get to talk to people I pay to see.
Yeah.
It's mental to me. But hey, you're absolutely right though. And as far as the Twitter part is concerned, I'm guilty of being very, very shit at Twitter. I sent a tweet out earlier today asking if people would like me to see like if, if people would like me to speak English would be for a very, very good start.
I'm
Um
absolutely guilty of doing the same thing. Sometimes I think I just talk too fast and my mouth gets ahead of the words.
it's such an embarrassingly common thing for me. It's so bad. Um yeah, I sent one out today asking if people would like me to do a video on like what I'd like WWE to do in the future, given, what the fuck's happened with Vince. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a wild 2 weeks week. I feel like it's only been a week actually.
I think so, yeah. Like
At time of recording anyway.
yeah, at time of recording, yes. It's absolutely batshit bonkers. Like what's your take on all of this?
So for a bit of context, as of recording, we have
Mhm.
had SummerSlam and we've just had the post SummerSlam Raw. I've not watched either yet, I'll be honest.
Oh, okay.
But I've heard
I've watched
good.
SummerSlam, I've not watched it all.
Yeah. So I've seen bits. I'm not spoilers don't really bother me. So I've seen bits on social media. And from people who've watched the full shows, I've heard really good things.
Yeah.
I mean, my take on it is that I think Vince has been out of touch for a while.
Gotcha.
And I think he's needed to take a step back for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a shame that it's taken what we should probably call alleged accusations to cause him to step back. But I think, considering that end of last year, Triple H wasn't in the best of health, to see it come around where he is in charge of creative, I think that's what people have been crying out for, because when he had NXT, everybody loved it. I mean, you mentioned the Gargano Ciampa feud before, that was all under Triple H. And I think he's probably, I mean, obviously I don't know the guy, but he's probably got his finger on the pulse a bit more than his father-in-law did.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I think you can tell, I mean, in just like the 2 shows, like would Vince have thought of Brock lifting up the ring with a tractor?
Holy shit.
That was probably the first spoiler I saw on Twitter the next morning. I was like, oh my God, that's amazing.
I sent my friend who doesn't watch wrestling a message. I said, if I told you Brock Lesnar lifted the ring up with a tractor with Roman Reigns still inside, sending him toppling to the outside, would you believe me? That was a message I sent to a friend. That happened. And Brock's face when he did it. Oh my God.
The other thing as well, actually, I mean, and this is just dirt sheet stuff, so I don't know how much truth is in it. You've always got to take the dirt sheets with a pinch of salt.
Well, very much, yeah.
But apparently this new stable of Bayley, Io, and Dakota Kai was pitched ages ago, and Vince shot it down, apparently.
Yeah.
Again, to see that, if that was the case, to see that happening again, and people are loving it, it's kind of like, it kind of shows you how much Vince's finger may not have been on the pulse.
I think there's evidence. I think there's quite a bit of evidence for that to be true, with the fact that both Io and Dakota Kai were working dark matches at the time on SmackDown. Io was, as we all know, on the last few months of her contract. Dakota Kai had been released. Dakota bloody Kai, the love I have for that lady. When she got released, she's Charlie Girl on Twitch. I'd watch every Twitch stream of hers. I love her. I think she's phenomenal, and
she's great. Yeah,
that heel turn on Tegan Nox when she goes out and then turns around and just kicks her in the face. I would love to see her with gold for a long period of time, not for the same day.
Yeah,
I mean, a long period of time. She's phenomenal. But I think that it is dirt sheet, as you say, but I think the dark matches kind of back that up a little bit.
Yeah, it all adds up a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'd like to say that I kind of manifested it, because on my WWE 2K22 universe mode, I had the team of Bayley and Dakota Kai.
Okay.
I had them together in a feud leading up to Money in the Bank. And so I'd like to say, as soon as I saw that happen, I just looked at them and I did that. That's me.
So we all have Adam Barker to thank for Dakota coming back to WWE.
I know you've not seen the show, but the moment, what the very, very first match, and after the first match, that moment of three of the best in the world in Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky now, which
even Bianca and Becky, again, it's like 5 of the best in the world. I mean, the fact that Becky worked that match with a separated shoulder.
Is that legit? I haven't heard that.
Yeah, there is a picture floating around somewhere where you can actually see the separation. But yeah, that's legit.
Shit.
But then on Raw, I think Asuka and Alexa backed up Bianca once Becky was taken out, from what I've seen. So it looks like the women's division's having a shot in the arm.
Which it's desperately needed because the vast majority of them were sent packing.
Yeah.
That whole host, I mean, the whole thing with the massive like host of releases over the past few years, on one end they were needed because the WWE had a monumentally bloated roster with a lot of people not doing anything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was the manner of how they were done. Just mass upon mass releases, sent packing goodbye, no Dukas. And like people like Braun Strowman, people like who were just in world title matches days ago. And then off. The past few years have been very extremely severe for WWE. So this is no different. This is still very severe, but now it's like on the down. Hopefully, we're going back on an upwards trajectory. Like I haven't watched WWE consecutively over and over since about 2018, I think. The Survivor Series show with Ronda and Charlotte. That show I didn't watch, and it was from then on I just lost interest.
Yeah.
In like weekly watching because 3 hour Raw, 2 hour SmackDown, and then potentially NXT is a lot of content.
Yeah.
And kind of lost interest, but after watching that SummerSlam, that's the most interesting I've ever been to watch Raw. And I think tonight, I think I'm gonna give it a wee watch.
Yeah.
Because as of recording, it's the day after Raw.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. The women's division does seem to be getting the shot in the arm it desperately does need.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what they do because everyone's talking about the women's stuff at the minute. But I think I can foresee a sort of overhaul of the product. I don't think it's going to be too extreme where they're sort of resetting it per se. But I think storylines are going to have better outcomes and, things like that. Things might start making a little bit more sense, I think.
Well, we won't have someone tearing up the script moments before they go live.
Yeah.
So I think that'll help.
Yeah.
think with storyline continuity, that will help a little bit.
I think so, yeah.
I think the only downside of the show was the Ronda Liv match. It got cut because Miz and Logan Paul went long.
Right.
But even then, like the ending, I don't want to ruin too much for you. I know you've not watched it, but
spoilers don't bother me, like I say.
The ending didn't. They've got no shine for one. She's got like pretty much like Loki and the Hulk in the first Avengers movie, where he's just like that all over the place.
Right. Yeah.
They need shine, and she's in an armbar. Pushes her over into the armbar, so the shoulders are down. So count on 2, and as it goes down for the 3, she taps for the 3. So it's a dusty finish.
Yeah.
It doesn't make Liv look good, and I'm very worried because finally there's a champion that they want, that the crowd they're behind. The crowd are massively behind it because we've had Ronda, we've had Charlotte for what feels like 20 years of Charlotte just being champion all the time. And I don't dislike Charlotte, much like I didn't dislike seeing it. Well, I did when I was younger, but it's more the booking of them. And I don't want Liv to be booked too weak of a champion. Right? Yeah. These lucky outcomes. I want it to be like crafty, outsmarting her opponents.
Yeah, I mean, I think SmackDown will probably be worth a watch to see what they do there because I'm of the understanding that Ronda turned heel after the match at SummerSlam.
Yeah,
which I think suits her more.
Decked a shit ton of officials, so yeah, she turned heel.
Yeah.
Which, okay. Yeah, you're right. That's the silver lining out of it. She's a much, much better heel because let's face it, she came in from the UFC. She's Hollywood. She's this, she's that. And WWE fans don't like that very much.
Yeah.
Brock's gotten over after a long time of being booed because he's now being himself.
Yeah.
Even when The Rock came back from Hollywood, they booed The Rock coming back from it. It's something that's kind of ingrained in the wrestling fan psyche that they don't like this sort of. They came into the business the wrong way, which I disagree with. I don't think there's any wrong way of coming into the business, but heel Ronda feeding into that works a lot more.
Yeah.
So at least it's that.
Yeah.
But going from one champion to another, how does it feel me introducing Stacey Rose as the British Bombshell champion?
It's still a bit surreal, to be honest. I think because I don't know, I've only been back at training for just over a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I was expecting anybody to make me champion before or like within the first year of being back. Especially because given my background and everything, yeah, it's all happened so quickly. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so it's cool, but it's still a bit weird.
What was the moment like? I wish I could have seen the match. What was the
Yeah, why
moment
weren't
like
you
when
there,
you?
Adam? I'm sure you had other important wrestling related things too. Because sometimes it happens, shows happen. You'll get weekends where every show is running.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll go to one, and someone goes, "Oh, have you been to this?" No, oh, have you been to? Have you been? What? Okay, slow down.
We only have so much money for tickets. Please stop.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
But yeah, it's even though I obviously knew it was happening,
Mm-hmm.
it's still that moment it gets announced. It's so strange. Like I don't know if it's just me, but it almost feels like it's not actually happening, I guess. And then I guess because the adrenaline's still going from the match, it's not really until you get backstage and they want promo pictures of you with the belt and all that. That's when you're kind of like, oh, okay. And then when you have an extra thing to carry back to the car as well, that's when you're like, oh, yeah, okay.
I didn't think about that. You come in with your standard gear and stuff, and then you leave champion.
Yeah, I was a bit worried actually at first because the belt itself wouldn't fit into my suitcase because I've only got like a little suitcase. And it wouldn't fit, and I was like, oh, I've got to walk across the car park with this over my shoulder. But luckily enough, they had an actual like belt bag to put it in. So
Bit that finger, that big show. When he
yeah.
got ribbed, they told him, "Oh yeah, we all walk around with the belt on our shoulder." And he's like that at the airport, walking around with the belt, and everyone's looking like, "Me, what the fuck are you doing?"
I mean, that's one thing that I'm sort of like, at least I don't have to go through airports with it. Not at the moment, anyway. But you hear stories of like people getting stopped because your luggage goes through the thing and they want to see it, and it's all a bit of a novelty.
Mm.
But yeah, it's all been really cool. Because I think because Bombshells is just sort of reestablishing itself as a brand. They've been pushing it quite hard on Twitter as well, so I'm having to keep up with any tweets about it and interacting. Yeah, it's been really cool, but also very surreal at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine. I can imagine it's something like when you're a wrestler, yeah, I think we'd all be lying if we said we didn't think about it like 24/7, like that moment, like all the time. So for that to actually become a reality, I can imagine that being like quite difficult to convey.
Yeah, I mean, because I know belts aren't the be all and end all, because as we know, wrestling's predetermined. You're not actually competing in the same way you'd compete in a shoot fight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is still like a little acknowledgement of how well you've done,
Yeah.
and how at least that one promoter, how they view you. So yeah, it's nice.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, it's it is an acknowledgement. It's all the work you've done that's led up to you becoming champion. So, and right now, you are the one representing British Bombshell Wrestling.
Yeah. That's me.
Pressure.
Yeah, just a little bit, especially when it's pointed out that people like Little Miss Roxy and Lana Austin have held the belt before you, and it's like, oh, okay, no pressure.
It just makes it even better that there's heritage behind it.
Yeah.
Much better. It's great. And what was
Where
it?
did the sun come from?
I know, yeah, I was kind of watching that. It's kind of just creep up.
I go, wait, there we go.
um, does it feel like is there a different feel with it being a women like in a women's promotion?
So at the moment, I won the Bombshells Championship at Unstoppable, which is an intergender promotion, or just a general promotion.
Yeah.
So I've not actually worked an all-female show yet. I would not be surprised if there was a Bombshells show in the pipeline. I don't know that. I just wouldn't be surprised if it happened. Especially because the amount of talent in the Northwest right now in women's wrestling is absolutely insane.
Very much agree.
Yeah, I mean, I worked that match, the championship match was a triple threat. It was me, Rebecca Resner, and Gia Adams.
Oh,
phenomenal. Absolutely love it. Was a lot of fun.
that says itself.
So easy to work with. You know, Lana Austin runs a women's class at Future Shock. So there's a lot of girls coming out of there right now, and you've probably seen most of them at LWF.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it's just insane. There's so many. And then on top of that, you've got people like Harley, Alexis, Tonga, Lizzie. It's
Ridiculous.
Yeah, Kelly Van Ness, Katie Hawkins, Lily Winter, Helena Razor. I nearly said Helena Razor then. I always have to stop myself.
It's Lucy Sky.
Lucy Sky. Oh my God, Lucy Sky. Oh,
absolute champ.
Bless her at the minute. She was on a roll.
Yeah.
And I'm just so gutted for her at the minute, man.
So am I. I was front and center at the show, as you knew. A little bit of context. Quite surprised Miss Stacey Rose here actually said yes to come on here, because at that show I gave her quite a bit of shit. So thank you.
You did. You're a very good audience member. Thank you.
Only in professional wrestling would giving someone the maximum amount of shit equate to, oh yeah, you're good, you're good, egg.
But yeah, so
I'm massively fear for her, massively.
Yeah, she'll be back though. She's an absolute warrior. She'll be back.
Oh, gotcha.
She loves wrestling. You know, we all do. But She's one of those girls that any of the girl, I'll just say it. People avoid saying these things on podcasts, but I'll acknowledge it. The girls who came from Runcorn, the ones who are still knocking about, I'm so proud of all of them, because they didn't come from an easy beginning in this industry. There was every chance that they could have been held back, and they're all smashing it. And Lucy's one of them, and I couldn't be prouder of her because she is absolutely smashing it.
It's the first time I watched her. Not too certain. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the first time I may have properly seen Lucy Sky live was at Extreme Fields at TNT last year. And the fact that we are in August now, and that was almost a fully fledged year ago, makes me sick. That night changed my life. That was absolutely just something else. That was my first time seeing Lucy Sky. Of course, I'd seen Harley quite a few times before that.
Of course, you had. She's everywhere.
Very true. More now than ever as well.
I know. It's amazing.
It's fully deserved. It's absolutely fully deserved.
Absolutely, yeah.
Every time I see her on Twitter, she's at another promotion. She's in England, she's in Scotland, she's in Israel.
Yeah.
For God's Israel.
Yeah.
British wrestling indies, and I never in my wildest dreams thought Israel would. What? Incredible.
It's incredible.
Absolutely stunning. I'm so happy for her. I just love wrestling in general. Like, everyone right now is male, female, or whatever. Everyone's killing it right now, and it's amazing to see.
Yeah.
And
I think one of my favorite things, because I wasn't at Extreme Fields last year, so I must have seen Lucy at a Wrestle Island show, when you kind of have that moment of like, she has a belter of a match, and you go, "Whoa, where did that come from?" Because I hadn't seen her for so long. I hadn't seen her wrestle for so long. And then there was a clip online of an island show that I couldn't get to. It was when they did the red light, green light match. And there was this spot where Lucy gets Lance Rivera up for a powerbomb. And it says red light. So she's just got him on her shoulders for this entire, 30 seconds or whatever it is before it says green light. And I thought, that's got to take some strength.
Yeah. I mean, he's
especially
skinny into that, but to have anyone up there for that long has to take some going. Yeah.
And mental strength to have Lance's crotch in your face for the entire time.
That's a good point. I don't know if anybody wants that, to be fair.
Yeah. Anybody, especially after you've wrestled for a bit, you don't want anyone's crotch in your face, really.
No.
But yeah, to summarize, Lucy's smashing it at the minute, and she'll be back from injury, and she'll be smashing it again. Hopefully she won't come for me.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not me. Please not me.
I've seen a few of your comments on Twitter trying to get out of a few matches with Rebecca and other people.
No, I mean, Rebecca's another one that I'd wrestle again. And I mean, the only match I've had with her was that triple threat. So, I'd be up for a singles match with Rebecca Resner. I mean, she's a lot of fun. Even backstage,
Someone I've not watched live, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's someone that I would absolutely love to see live. And
I mean, she's more Leeds based, I think.
So spins a lot.
Yeah, she works more sort of like Yorkshire.
Yeah,
I believe, and BWR as well over
British Wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see more of Rebecca in the Northwest. I mean, she works Unstoppable. I've met her a couple of times there. But yeah, she's definitely someone that I'd love to see more
Yeah,
in and
I,
around the Northwest.
I'd be very happy with that. Yeah,
Yeah,
very happy with that. I've only ever heard good things.
yeah,
Only ever heard good things, so I'd be very happy. The more I see, the merrier, really. But that's the thing with the British wrestling scene at the moment, because if you like me, basically, if I'm from Wigan, I'm British, like Northwest based,
yeah,
basically. So I'm going to be seeing the fact that it's a future show, LWF, potentially TNT now and then if I can make it to a show.
yeah.
Right, not mostly Northwest based, but that's the thing. Like, that's just like that much of the entire British scene. There's so many people that you might not even ever see because it's that packed with talent.
Yeah.
That
I would say maybe I'm a little bit, I mean, maybe I'm a little bit biased, but like, I would say the Northwest is probably the strongest scene at the minute. Like,
I'd
don't
say
get me wrong,
so.
there's some phenomenal talent, like from the
Yeah,
Midlands and from down south. But for sure, I think there's so much talent coming out the Northwest.
couldn't agree more. Couldn't
Yeah,
agree more. And it's when the thing is when you see it, there's one way, one thing seeing it. Get my words out again. Put my teeth in. Um, it's one thing seeing it on a show.
mm-hmm.
It's another seeing it when you're training
Yeah,
and seeing like this person or this person, like these are future stars. Like these are people who are really killing it right now, and they're not quite booked on shows yet, but when they are, they'll be everywhere. And I love that.
I mean, I can't speak for other wrestling schools because at the minute I've not been able to get to them. But you know, I mean, if you try to book into Future Shock at any point, you've got to book your sessions like so far in advance. And you know, you go to those sessions, there's so many trainees there at the minute. And, you know, like you say, ones who aren't getting booked, but you look at them and you're like, you're going to be so good. You're going to be so good. And then the only other place I've managed to get to is Wrestle Island. Their school's relatively new.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got students there as well who, I mean, I don't know if you've seen Padre Quinlan on Twitter. He's only really worked Wrestle
No.
Island and Infamous so far.
Wrestle
Oh,
Island, I've not gotten, never been to Wrestle Island. It's my bucket list of mine to go.
yeah. I mean, probably a little bit awkward to get to from Wigan, to be honest. But if you can get down there, it's absolutely worth it. I mean, those
Yeah.
shows are always packed out. Yeah.
It's another one as well. Only ever heard good things. It's another show.
Yeah.
Like it's a bucket list to go. Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. It's
Sure.
like the RWF as well, though. They have I've seen a few of I remember sitting in for one of the classes. I didn't train necessarily because I wasn't fit at the
Yeah.
time. But they have a great school as well, RWF, and
Yeah.
it's great to see some of them. It's great to see the ones that are trained to come through the academy and get on the shows, and then seeing people that you've seen from the start and just go on and improve and improve and improve.
Yeah.
And that recently, I've seen quite a few people that are exactly like that. Like LK, for example.
Yeah.
We were in the same beginners class together. Um, I watched Tonga's debut to see her then, to
Yeah.
see her now. I just she commands the attention of everyone there just by being in the ring.
It's so cool just to see how people develop
Yeah,
when you've seen them from the beginning. Yeah, it's just really cool.
yeah, like Young Guns as well. I mean, God's sake, and you talk about injuries, fucking hell, Ethan Allen can't catch a break.
Yeah.
Like we watched them from the beginning as well, like when they debuted at Future Shock, and see them just it's it's hurtful, to be honest, that Ethan Allen's so young
Yeah.
and so good. It pains me.
I don't think there's anything worse than you see someone who's phenomenal and you go, how old are you? And they're like, oh, I'm 19. And you're like, excuse me? Because you
Yeah,
know they've not peaked yet.
yeah, yeah. Sod off, please. Add another 10 years on yourself, please.
Yeah. CC Holly Hudson.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. It hurts a bit.
Yeah.
It does hurt inside. So I'm personally, I'm 26.
Yeah.
I'm not by any means saying I'm old. But like when you see 19-year-olds, and I just try to think back to myself, like what the fuck I was doing at that age. I don't even know.
I prefer not to think about it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a good shout. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's phenomenal to see them. Absolutely incredible to see. Just people doing good, other
Yeah.
people doing well. That's
Yeah.
all
We
you
love it
want.
when people do well.
Yeah, it's all you want. It's
Yeah.
all you want. You don't want negativity. Don't want bullshit. Literally just want to see people go out there, have fun, and improve. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone else, I absolutely. I mean, she's been on. Someone else she's been on the scene for a long time, but someone else who I absolutely just love seeing is Jenny B.
Yeah.
And the, the reaction she gets. When I went to the recent Mutiny taping at WF,
Yeah.
and it's just she. It's just, you you get lost for words. Like just someone at the very far end could say something, and she's so tuned in
Yeah.
at every little thing. And
I like working with Jenny. She's great fun to work with.
mm,
Yeah.
it's great fun to heckle as well.
Yeah.
So I was doing a wee bit of research,
Mm-hmm.
and on the YouTube channel, I saw that you did an intergender match with Aiton Steen, or as
Yes.
on the title of the video, Aiton Steel.
Oh, right.
So,
I'm sure he'll love that.
not certain, but yeah. What was it like? Well, first of all, what's it your view on what's it like wrestling an intergender match, and what was it like wrestling Aiton Steel?
Apon Steel. Well, it was actually the first intergender match that I've ever wrestled outside of
Oh,
training.
okay.
So that's something ticked off. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it. Apart from it was a lot of fun. Real easy guy to work. I mean, Aiton's a nice guy anyway. You know
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I don't really know what else to say about it, because it's kind of like, it's another match in it.
Yeah. And
Like the way I
another
see it is intergender wrestling. It's another match to me.
there you go. I don't see the issue personally. I'm exactly the same as you.
Yeah, I mean,
It,
it was, the match went well. Even if we did get halfway through and then we got the call to like 2 minutes left and we were like, excuse me. But that happens sometimes. Good match. Worked the crowd were into it.
the sound of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounded into it.
Yeah.
I mean, Aiton's great.
And Aiton accordioned himself on my rainmaker for me, so I appreciated that.
He did. Yeah, he very much did, yeah.
Yeah. So
It-
I mean, I wish we could see more of Aitenstein, to be honest. I know he's mostly at LWF. I know he's done bits at Catch as well, but
does BTW as well. He
yeah,
started
BTW.
doing some there. But yeah, he's someone I'd like to see more of around the Northwest scene because I love Aiton, like as a wrestler and as a person. He's such a sound guy.
Yeah, he's a good wrestler, and you know his gimmick is, you know, something that not that you've not seen before, but it's interesting. Like it's unique to him. Do you know what I mean? You
Yeah,
never get him confused with anybody else.
I agree with that. Yeah, it's not out there, it's not wild, but it's different.
Yeah.
And I like that. I do like that. And he's sometimes gone out there and wrestled in his boxes, which I appreciate. Like his match with Getski, well, one of many to be fair, but his latest one
Yeah.
for number one contendership was uh, it was it was Ridgeway-esque.
Was this the one at Aces High?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very, very Ridgeway-esque in the put in the performance of it, in the how can I put it, how it went with the strikes, the holds. Like when you're watching a Ridgeway match, the crowd usually remain quite quiet, but not in a quiet, not a bored quiet, in a very, very interested, just sitting, taking every little thing in.
Yeah.
And it was very much like that. It was paced really well, and those two, those two work perfectly together. It's one of those where you just know that feud's never ending. They're always going to be wrestling each other some way, some capacity, and you never gotta get bored of it.
Yeah. I mean, you know, chemistry in the ring is important, and I think Aiton and Getski have got that chemistry together where they, you know, I'd be shocked if they had a bad match with each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So would I. Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It really is, and it's great to see. Like because Getski is another one as well. Getski is someone who I can genuinely see in a few years' time Getski being up there at the top. He's in my eyes just that good.
Yeah. And he's worked a lot on his physique as well. Recently, I've noticed. Yeah, he's doing really well, Getski.
Yeah,
I can see him getting out and about a bit more.
I'd love to see it. I absolutely love to see it. He's he's my mum's favorite anyway.
Yeah.
Mum's favorite, and when the Wrecking Crew come out, you get boo, and it gets to my mum's side.
Secret claps.
Yeah, it's literally like that up to the side. Nah, there's always one. Someone has to. Speaking of Aces High, you had quite a busy night. Of course, you wrestled Lucy Sky.
Yeah.
Lost. But,
Thank you for that.
what an outfit. and and then you were one of the lumberjacks for a lumberjack match,
I was. Yeah.
and you were stationed pretty much dead center in front of me.
Yep.
Prime real estate. And when shit hit the fan, you and Leah Raven had quite the encounter as well. That was quite a night, and I loved it. It was absolutely incredible. Like, how was that night for you? That entire show.
It was a bit bittersweet, the show, because obviously at the beginning, quite early on, Lucy broke her arm. So obviously in that sense, that was kind of, it's always sad to see someone hurt themselves.
Of course.
But for the rest of the show, can I say power to Lucy for finishing that match with Tonga, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute warrior. But yeah, the rest of the show, everybody seemed into it. The lumberjack match was great. That was a lot of fun. Nate Reese is another one who knows how to jaw jack with the crowd.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
I'll be honest, I'm one of these people whose memory is really, really bad. So these nights, shows can become a bit of a blur until someone turns around to me, yeah, do you remember that match? And I go, oh yeah, that happened. Sometimes even for my own stuff from the past, I have to turn around to Lance and I have to be like, did this happen or am I making this up? And then Lance will go, no, this happened, but then this happened, it didn't happen. And I'm like, right, okay, yeah, sorry. Like, he remembers my matches better than I do, so.
I can empathize with you there. Yeah, my memory is medically terrible, so I 100% empathize with you. Yes, it's shit.
But it is what it is.
They're right. Yeah, like, other than Lucy Sky, which she said, like, 100% massively agree. Props to her for finishing the match because she is truly well and truly a warrior, and I can't wait for her to be back in that ring.
Yeah.
Bigger, better, and stronger.
Yeah.
But the rest of that show was truly just so fun and so good, and it's one of those, I love being part of that. I love like the back and forth with the crowd, with the wrestlers and everything, back and forth with like you and things like that. And it's I've said I think it's a drinking game now for how many times I said that it's that wrestling on this podcast, that wrestling is well and truly an escape from everything that goes on in your life. I think if everyone clipped, if someone was to clip every time I said that, it would be a drinking game and we'd get rather pissed. But it's true. It is true. Like, whenever shit's going on, for a few hours of your life, you go out there and whether you're a wrestler or a fan, it's a step away from your life. And you're in a room full of like-minded people who are there for the same thing. I mean, that's wrestling.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally agree.
It's incredible. And I can't wait for Summer Smash. That's one thing I can't wait for.
Yeah, it'll be good. I mean, the LWF shows are always good. See what I mean? I do it as well. Yeah, the LWF shows are always a lot of fun. Yeah, very much looking forward to Summer Smash.
It's a different vibe by LWF. It's very family orientated, but it's the wrestlers themselves. It is a family, and I've been welcomed into that family, even though I'm not a wrestler.
Yeah.
It's a lot of gratitude for them, a lot of gratitude for Mr. Stevie B as well. So it's I can't wait, and then the after party will be very fun as well. Will we be seeing you at the after party?
Probably not. Only because I was living in Liverpool, now I'm living in Cheshire. So it is quite a trek back to mine from Chorley. So, but if you did want to get to a TNT show, the next TNT show, Summer Explosion, is on my birthday.
Oh.
So,
yeah, this is your birthday month, isn't it?
It is. It's August. It's my birthday month. I don't think Jay will quite let me make that TNT show all about me.
Oh, well.
I'll just mention it to people who are passing by. That's fine.
Tell everyone.
Yeah.
Just tell everyone. When you're out there, just get the microphone, just tell everyone. It's your birthday, treat me with respect.
Get Mike Angus to make an announcement.
Oh, I'm sure Mike will do it. Come on.
Oh, I'm sure he would as well. He
My
loves a bit
dog.
of fun as well, Mike.
Mad dog. Mad dog,
Yeah.
Mike. Hero of professional wrestling. And this podcast, because I will be uploading the one I did a few days ago tonight, and this will be going up in 2 weeks. So basically everyone, it is Stacey's birthday month, so wish her a happy birthday.
August 25th specifically.
Birthday month. It's fine. It's if I can make it, I'd love to. Money wise at the moment, not great. I'm on nil pay at the moment off work.
Right.
So it's definitely just I think at the moment it's LWF shows and possibly nothing else purely because of money.
Yeah.
I've been off work for 6 months now.
Oh, okay.
Not great. But so yeah, nil pay. So we're trying to I'm trying to be a bit
it's one of them. As a fan, you just do what you can, nobody's expecting you to show up to every single show, because I mean, not just for yourself, but times are tough for a lot of people at the minute. So I don't think people should feel pressure to attend every single wrestling show at the moment. Look at cards, look at what's nearby, support your local indie, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, massively. And I from personal experience, I can't hype up the Northwest scene enough. I seriously can't. So if you can get yourself down to a show, it's I think if people haven't seen an indie show and they only know WWE, they don't know how different they are.
Yeah.
It's a completely different animal. It's so different, but they don't know until they've been. And I've spoken to so many people who said, oh, "This is my first time going to a show." I was like, "How was it?" I said, "I loved it. This is it now. This is me. I'm coming again. This or the other." And that is the best thing to hear all the time.
Absolutely.
All the time.
Yeah.
The more the merrier. The more the merrier, because you can sell out shows, and you're helping yourself by taking yourself out for a couple of hours on a weekend, and you're helping the wrestlers as well.
Yeah.
And helping the promoters. So it's a win-win for everyone.
It is. It's absolutely a win-win for everyone.
Well, Stacey, is there anything you'd like to plug? It has been the utmost pleasure.
Thank you very much. I am on Twitter at Stacey Rose. I'm on Instagram at I am Stacey Rose. I do have a Facebook page as well, but I don't use that so often. But if you search for Stacey Rose, you'll probably find me. Hang on, let me look at my calendar. So this will go 2 weeks today, you say?
Indeedio.
So I will be. Oh no, we are on August. So 2 weeks today, 16th. So this weekend on August 20th is LWF Summer Smash. And you will be able to find me on the 27th at Kingdom of Wrestling in Southport. And I will also be at TNT Summer Explosion on the 25th. And actually the night before that is Flawless Victory as well, which is a new concept show that TNT are trying out.
Ooh.
I imagine I'll be on that as well. By the time this goes out, I will probably know for sure if I'm going to be really good for that. So, but yeah, there's a bunch of dates for your diaries if you want to bump into me anywhere. So.
Write them all down now.
Yeah.
Now.
Pause this video and write them down.
Stacey, it has been an absolute pleasure. This has been one I've been wanting to do for a while. So thank you so much for coming on.
No, thank you. It's been a blast.
Stacey is an upcoming talent, a champion already. You don't want to miss her. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
We'll see you later.